All right, hello everyone. So what I'm going to be talking about right now is getters and setters, or accessors and mutators. So to prep, what I did is I created two classes. I have my super class right here. It's got two global variables and it's got a constructor. Now notice that I had to use this because the local is the same name as the global. Now, we are going to talk specifically in this video about getters. Now, as you notice, my variables are private, which means that if I was to make an object out of this, we'll just call it class practice A equals new class practice, and my constructor says I need to go X and Y, we'll call this X, and then we'll just say 9 for demo purpose. So what's happening is X gets sent to here, so this global variable is now equal to the capital letter X, and Y is equal to 9. That's what our constructor does. Again, the purpose of the constructor, to initialize global variables. So now that that's done, let's say I wanted to actually access what X was. A dot X. I can't do that. I have an error. Okay, I'm not allowed to because it's private. These are where getters come into play. Now, a getter is basically like your middleman. It's basically like it's saying, you know what? You need to be able to find out what the value of X is. And tell you what, I'm not going to let you directly access it, but rather I will get the value for you. So, public, because a getter is a method. Public, I am going to spit back whatever variable I'm getting. So if I'm getting X, in this case, it's a string. Public string, and I'm just going to call it getX. Now you don't need any parameters because the whole purpose of this method is just to spit back a value. Getters are really easy. And I'm just going to return X. If I wanted to do one for Y, public, now Y is an int, so my return type changes to an int, and I say get Y, and return Y. Done. I have created a way for myself to access the value of the methods. Now, how are these actually called into play? So there's two ways that I can do it in the tester class. So I made my object, which means naturally my object will inherit everything. A now has these two getter methods. So I could either say, let's say string. We're going to say string a name equals a dot get x. So I could store it in a variable, okay, because it's a string, I'm storing it in a string. I could do the same thing with the int. Or I could simply print it out and say a.getx. Run it, and in my console, notice that it prints out an x. It prints out the value that was here. So xi, we'll just change it to that, save it. Now it prints out xi. So again, what a getter is doing is it's saying the values that were sent to initialize these global variables, they're sent, you can no longer access them directly, but tell you what, I will get the value for you and spit it back out to you. So just like any other variable, I can either store it in a matching name or a matching variable, or I can just print it out. So that is getters, or also known as accessors.